What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a zombies video. God, it's been a really long time, and I'm just kind of toying with my new monitor at the moment. It was being really goofy, trying to get that to work, but I'm going to get a new PC on Monday, and I'm hoping with that I can actually maybe bring a couple of games back to the channel. My PC has just not been cooperating, to say the least. But it's been a really long time since I've done anything. Ooh, my audio sounds really freaking jank. Yeah, there we go. So it's been a really long time since, hold on, I'm not picking up PC audio. Alright, I think I got it working. But yeah, it's just been a super long time since I have done anything on YouTube. And, I don't really got an excuse for it. I actually did get a kick into want to record a video. I was going to jump on Minecraft to show you what I've been working on a modded server that I figured out how to host with a couple buddies of mine, and what we've been working on. But apparently Minecraft is down, where no one can log into anything. It was being really goofy for me, and I went to the down detector, and it has skyrocketed in reports for login issues right around 9 o'clock. So I said, fuck it, let's go play some zombies. And I have no idea why. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but we are chopping frames just every now and then, just every once in a blue moon. And that's why I can't wait to get a new PC. This PC is totally misbuilt. When I originally built it, it was fantastic, fantastically optimized. It was Ryzen 2700. When I built it, it was a Ryzen 2700X, 16 gigs DDR4 RAM at like 3200 megahertz, a 2 terabyte SSD, or not at the time, it was terabyte NVMe SSD, because those are still like 150 bucks at the time when I built this. Fine, let's get the Carnegie. And right around 2 terabytes of external storage for games on a little 7200 RPM physical drive. So that was my PC, and with a 1070 in it. GTX 1070 Founders Edition, because I couldn't afford the TI. And that PC was awesome. I remember building, I'm like, holy shit, this thing can play everything. And then about 2 years ago, when actually Resident Evil 8, when that came out, I wanted to get another PC. And I realized, like, holy shit, they are requiring to get, like, 1080p 60 FPS a freaking 1070, and since I knew my PC was all the way out, so I got a 3080 actually, and this was at the height of 3080s, so they're coming down a little bit. But I didn't build anything else into my PC, so my PC is horribly optimized for a 3080. Now 3060 would have been a wiser move. That would have been a genuine upgrade, a 3060 Ti. But you live and you learn. I can't wait to show off the new computer. I ended up getting it on sale. I pulled the cardinal sin of PC Master Race. I bought a pre-built. Bought an Alienware as the R15, Aurora R15 with a 4090 in it. But, you know, to be honest, all the reviews I've read, and I've looked at the spec sheets myself, the only thing that's a bit weird is the speed on the memory. But I'm wondering, I'll have to take a look at how the BIOS looks, because it's DDR5, and some DDR5s I'm seeing going up to like 5,000 megahertz, something like that, unless I'm totally making that up in my head, but it's like at 4,800, which is a really weird, arbitrary number. So I'm going to see if that's maybe just because of the memory sticks, and if the BIOS would let me move it to a higher frequency if I got new DDR5. That's the only complaint I've heard about it. Otherwise, Ryzen 9 7900X, something like that. RTX 4090. So that's going to be freaking legit. For the first time ever, I'm going to have a top-of-the-line PC until, obviously, the 50 series comes out. And if it's anything like how the 30s were, all of a sudden, you know, we had rumors going on about them for a little while, and then boom, they just freaking showed up in like August. So I'll have a top line PC for like 2 months, but I'm not gonna have to upgrade a PC with a 4090 in it for a really long time, and that's the idea. Or actually, going to grab some more. It's also been years since I have played zombies, like proper zombies. To sit down, play some Black Ops 1, World at War, or Black Ops 2, and just record a normal commentary on it. Just hang out. I guess these are always the original podcasts for me and YouTubers like myself. So, really, you just get on here, talk about BS. There's a point in the game where you get good enough at it, which I'd like to say I'm at, where you can just kind of shut off your brain and play. And when you shut off your brain and play, that's where weird conversations come from. But those are some of the deepest conversations ever. If you've never been on night with the boys playing zombies, there is a grace period, a graceful essence happens right around between round 13 and will last all the way until round 30. That, at least on these old school zombies, where you'll have some of the deepest conversations with the boys you'll ever have in your life, because as long as you're a competent team with more than 2 people, rounds like 13 through 30 are a breeze, and they're a great time. But then after that, it can get a little fucking hectic. But those are some of the most philosophical commentaries, philosophical conversations you could ever have with your boys, and that is how you'll truly get to know them. And I guess when I say boys, I also mean gals. I'm not trying to be exclusive, but you know what I mean when I say the boys. It's just that group of homies and homettes. Yeah, quick scope, bitch. God damn. I was like, I don't know who's worse, if it's just the damage of the gun or me just being totally ass, and I'm more leaning towards the latter. Oh. Also, apologies in advance if audio is just all fuckered up. To be honest, if it's too bad, I might not even post this, and I just would have sat here playing the game for nothing, but, I have no idea. It's just been so long, I have no idea what my recording stuff is set up to. Alright. It's the fun part, waiting for all the zombies to funnel in. Yeah, hope you guys have been doing well for my pretty elongated hiatus. I think my last video was the Lethal Company video. To be honest, I really like making those videos with my friends, just playing games and seeing what the hell happens from it. But recently, we have not really had a game that's been like that. We've been playing Siege a lot, and I thought about getting into streaming that, but we played on the Xbox, and I guess I'll have to try it out now, but I just got this new monitor in today, so I have no idea. But my old monitor literally had... Sorry, my back is just fuckered up and I can't get this chair to pop. It's my TV on the Xbox Series X. Oh, hell. Literally plays the game better. And better reaction time. And when you get so used to... Oh, fuck it. Let's go buy the Thompson and grab a jug. And when you get so used to that type of reaction time from your TV, it is... God, you can feel it going to something that just doesn't have that. And yeah, first world problems 100% all the way. But shit, we've been playing ranked, so why risk it going into ranked and, you know, literally putting myself at a disadvantage. But we'll see with this monitor. Maybe I can swap it over here and see what we can do. Maybe start streaming some Siege. But we've also even been taking a break from that game. We've just been playing a lot of Minecraft lately, actually. And yeah, obviously that's a game that we can, I can stream, and I've thought about it. But at the time, you know, some of my buddies, they're not too into the idea of streaming, and those guys that are playing on there, I don't know, they'd be 100% comfortable with it, but you know what? I don't think they'd care. But by the time I even thought about it, we were a little too far into the world. And once Minecraft is finally up, I still want to give that world to her. And I will definitely explain more a bit on that. Because there's just a certain point of playing modded Minecraft where it's not fun to watch anymore, because it's just like, okay, the progression's pretty much finished and we're at that at this point. Now we're just doing mindless builds. It's probably getting pretty close to the server being retired, I would imagine. I would imagine so, in probably a month or so, maybe 2. The server will be retired because we basically completed the progression tree, and we'll be maybe starting another one or waiting until that Minecraft kit kicks back in. Because I found a really flawless way to host servers. It doesn't even require port forwarding or anything. And it's, if you have a spare PC, that's the only kind of caveat for it. And there is a really good tutorial, and if I remember, I will put it in the description, even though this has nothing to do with Minecraft. That he basically goes through how to install a root of Debian onto a spare PC and install what's called Casa OS. And Casa OS has a application on there called Crafty. And I think you can actually get Crafty on Windows, but you go through and you set up Crafty, and you get that going. That builds your server. That's like your main thing. That's the easy way of hosting a server than having it go through your Minecraft jar, whatnot, blah, 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 blah. And doing it that way. But then, oh, I didn't realize it was this skin. Then you go download this mod called playit.gg for a modded server, at least. Otherwise, excuse me. It's a plugin. You can do it as a plugin, or, and I found this guy, he did it as a Forge mod, where you download it. It's called playit.gg, and it uploads basically, like, it starts freaking out, flashing to you, like, oh, you need to pay not pay this, but go log into this to get it set up, and you go follow the link. You do that. It gives you a random freaking title link, like mine's called like ensure.focus.link.gg, playit.gg, something like that. It's something goofy. And that actually will become your IP, and you are good to go at that point. Playing modded has been super easy. The only thing that kind of sucks is if you're not playing a directed mod pack, like we aren't, because we didn't know quite where the server could hold, where it could handle. So we didn't want to do a huge mod pack and have it just totally die on us really quick. So we've been incrementing mods up, and we're at a pretty good size mod now. We have basically our mod pack. And if any of you know this that might be watching this video, especially even at this point, know anything about it or how to do it in the comment section, that would be dope as hell if you could let me know. How to basically have your own auto-updating mod pack. Excuse me. Because the one thing that's annoying, if you want to add a mod to the server, you download it to the server, and then you have to download it to your machine and play on it. But then you have to coordinate with everybody and tell them, hey, you need to download and install this mod. Now, we have a little system going right now with like Google Drive, which has ended up working for us. But it would be nice just to have it automated, because I know if you have a mod pack or mods going through, like, God, I cannot think of what the mod loader's called, but the one for Lethal Company that everyone uses, if you give everyone your link, it'll just sync up your instance to everyone else's, which is just fantastic. So you can add mods without them have to go through download, pull them into config files. It just will synchronize their versions to whatever version you're running, which is huge. That's exactly what I wish that had for Minecraft here. But, you know, we made it work. There's a shiny.
See you, maggot bag. Bring it on, freak bags. Better get me some ammo.
Keep grabbing all these weapons off the wall because they honestly, it's so weird to say, but God, they're nostalgic for me now. And just the way this game's played, I just don't like the new COD engine, to be honest. It's just so weird to explain, but they just don't feel as good as what these games did to me. And that could be pure rose-tinted glasses talking, because I'm well aware of the objective betterness of new COD. COD 2019 was where it started, and that's where I think the kind of downfall is. Though COD 2019 out of the new CODs is my favorite. I think it's far better than MW2, 3, Cold War, and Vanguard put together. I keep getting stuck there. Keep that in mind for running around the building later. But yeah, that I just really liked that COD. But honestly, the game could have been just called its own thing, not even called Call of Duty, and I wouldn't even bat an eye. The last Call of Duty to kind of still feel like Call of Duty to me was Black Ops 4, and Black Ops 4 still didn't even feel as good as like these games. You know, COD 4 through basically Black Ops 2. But yeah, I would love it if they just went back to this engine, but it'll never happen. And if they ever remake Black Ops 2 or 1, you know it'll be in the new engine, and it'll just feel weird. Give me a ray gun or a Wonderwaffle or something. Fucking crossbow. You know, it's always funny. The explosives in Call of Duty, the explosive weapons and zombies, have always been notoriously shit, but they're always the most celebrated guns from the characters. And that's another thing, too, for Black Ops 6 Zombies. God, I hope we have a dedicated crew. There's been a couple leaks about it, but I'm so tired of fucking operators and zombies. It's just not the same. Oh, yeah, this is not the last one. It's just not the same. You can't have them too good a personality, because just it's different. And then they're probably going to do skin crossover again, which is cool. Like, I definitely, like, appreciate the skin crossover from game to game, because you're like, okay, I spent the money on the skin, you know, in this year, and so instead of buying it for a year and getting to see it for a year, I actually get to use it long term. Totally 100% get that. But then that brings up, are we going to see Nicki Minaj and zombies? We're going to see fucking, who's the other odd ones? They're kind of in there now. I don't even remember. But, you know, Nicki Minaj is the one that sticks out to me. Because, first of all, like, she doesn't even belong in a Call of Duty. You know. But, at the same time, I don't really care. Because my favorite COD... Like, not favorite COD. The favorite thing I've ever seen a COD do with their DLC is honestly COD Ghosts. Because they just didn't give a shit. And the reason why, I guess I should clarify, because it just sounds like I'm pouting because girls are in my Call of Duty. I don't care that Nicki Minaj is in it. I care about their execution of it because she's still taking herself like seriously. Like it just doesn't make as much sense if she was like fully there, like definitely not, you know, she's not a fucking trained TAC operator. So don't make her be. Like Call of Duty Ghosts, even though it's proclaimed to be the worst COD ever, did that kind of funny DLC right. We had Sergeant Gunnery, you know, aka the Colonel from Full Metal Jacket, as an announcer. He had Snoop Dogg, and they would just talk shit. They would say random crap. I mean, of course, they would still have to say their UAV spotted, or what was it, SATCOM back then? Which, that was a fucking joke. Fucking SATCOM. What the hell are they even thinking? But, you know, just have fun with it. You know, Ghost had some of the best DLC. I will say that. Had some of the best DLC for any Call of Duty. Was just, because the game took itself so seriously when it first came out, and it flopped so hard because of it, they decided to go the full other direction, and actually, in my opinion, made a great recovery. It's one of the best recoveries of a COD game of all time, almost second to World War II, because World War II did something similar, where they just started having fun with it. I mean, World War II, there was literally a map where you played as toy soldiers, which in a sandbox, which is just super cool because, you know, one, I was one of those freaking kids that would play in the sandbox with their toy soldiers, and literally, like, I mean, we're playing through what was going through my imagination. You know, the tanks coming through, the guys slaughtering each other. I mean, it was just a great time. That game had turned out pretty fun. I wish I had a really bad issue for this last generation, like the PS4 generation of Call of Duty, of playing with the Call of Duties for a couple months, then saying I fucking hated them for one reason or another. What's in here? Saying I fucking hated them for one reason or another, and then getting off of it until, okay, let me jump on COD to see where, you know, the new COD's gonna come out in a month. Let me jump on COD, get ready for the next one. And it would end up being like, wow, I'm actually having a great time. And I never get Prestige Master, but I always get like Prestige 9. Like, I'm like, damn. You know, I've always wanted to finish a game like Prestige Master, Max Prestige, but because I always took these huge hiatuses, I mean, like, literally, Black Ops 3 is the one I talk about the most, my biggest hiatus, because I was Prestige 9 level, like, 30 when I quit the game, and I quit the game in, like, freaking February or something like that, and didn't get back on it until, like, October the next year, or not next year, but that year, because the new COD is coming out in November, and I ended up, like, filling out that freaking Prestige and got 10th Prestige, and could have been Prestige Master, but I didn't finish out 10th Prestige because the new COD came out, which was MWR and Infinite Warfare at that point. And although looking back on it, I wasn't a huge fan of Black Ops 3, and I'm definitely not putting Black Ops 3 in any of my fucking top 10s. I mean, it might ink out in the top 10 actually, because there's almost 30 Call of Duties now, but they're still, you know, that top 10 list actually huge. Definitely not a top 5. Oh, there we go. Finally. I love this version of the ray gun. I don't know why. It's, for some reason, I always hated how they did the ray gun in Black Ops 3. Like, it's just so close to your face and seems so stiff. Even though this one is a bit weird because it's technically the World at War version and doesn't even have animations. So, like, if you guys didn't know, when you dolphin dive and everything, like, and your gun just goes straight out, is because they're World at War assets, and they don't have animations to it. So that's why, oh, that's right, I don't have a World at War weapon on me anymore. When you dolphin dive with World at War weapons, they do the same thing. They don't have animations to it. I believe the MP40 is the only one that has animations to it because it was featured a couple times in the campaign. And I think so does the PPSH. It won't let me. Oh shit, I'm holding out the wrong fucking gun. But the PPSH never made an appearance in Zombies, which is just a fucking shame. Wow, I forgot we had a carpenter, so that was kind of a waste on a monkey. But for some reason, like, just in Black Ops 2, I like that ray gun, too. But the way it just feels so, man, why am I getting stuck on that? It feels so rigid. I mean, I'm also, like, fucking autistic as shit, so this definitely could just be my weird OCD-ness, popping through the game, but man, does it just not feel good to have a ray gun in the newer CODs. It just doesn't feel right, and, also, for some reason, like, I really hate the animation of the double reload. I think it looks silly. I way prefer the one round.
Much appreciated.
One of these days I'll have to do a comparison, and if I can get my Black Ops 3 working and get a ray gun, maybe I'll do it here if I remember. But I mean, we have this versus the Black Ops 3 ray gun, which is just not the best. And the reason why I keep saying Black Ops 3 ray gun is because that's the one that basically set the groundwork for all the ray guns in the future. I know Cold Wars is a little bit less rigid, but it's still pretty similar. But it's just something, even though this ray gun technically doesn't have, it's a World at War asset, it just feels so good. It's not rigid, it's loose. I just don't know how to explain it. And yeah, I have a huge nostalgia boner for this game, but there is things to be said, because when Black Ops 1 and 2 were coming out, and, you know, when Black Ops 1 came out, literally no one was complaining about, you know, oh, this isn't an improvement from World at War. It was like, yes, this was a direct improvement from World at War, and we are thankful for it. And then when Black Ops 2 came out, there was a couple things where people, more or less for the maps, and I think that was the big thing, was just transit at the time, where people were, you know, Black Ops 2 Zombies wasn't as good as BO1 Zombies, and some people still make that argument today, and honestly, I would say BO1 is my preferred over BO2, and it's literally just because of the maps. The maps on there just kill the game. I mean, though the maps I've come to love, and I mean, Transit I've never really enjoyed, but Die Rise I've come to respect in a different light, because if you look at that map a little bit differently, obviously not the way they intended it, but you try to skew your own opinion on it, and it ends up being a kind of a map you can appreciate. Mob of the Dead, one of the GOATs of all time. Of course, Origins. Buried is one of my favorite maps of all time. But other than that, you know, I hear people complaining about Black Ops 2. Black Ops 3, you start hearing some of the complaints, and honestly, that's some of my complaints of, I like the original 2-hit down system, which I know is the worst thing in the world. And I do see the benefit of it now a little bit, giving you just a bit extra health, because getting 2-hit down and 2-hit can be brutal. Like, don't get me wrong, oh, damn, fucking John Wick. Definitely isn't fun to go down to, especially when you are recovering from a death and you are moving, because the one thing that Black Ops 3 has over these older ones is their movement. So when you're sliding around, it's a lot easier to go sliding around and get you new stuff in Black Ops 3 than it is in this game. And when you're sitting there getting dunked on because you just got slammed by 2 zombies, like, it is frustrating, trust me. But fucking Dragunov. And I have to get an afterburner. This is gonna be something. This is not a great room to be in. Oh, shit. Yeah, I want an afterburner. But, and this is something I'll stand behind all day. The guns in Black Ops 3, to me, just don't feel as meaty. They just don't feel as robust as these weapons in Black Ops 1, 2, and actually even 4 kind of brought it back a little bit, but still not as great. Oh shit, yep, that's going down. I fucked up there. And it just doesn't feel as good to me. It's where they just don't feel as impactful. Where this game, like even with that MP40, like, you know, you could see it ripping Gibbs off. I mean, to the point where the one thing they're proud of, Gibbs and everything, is that when you pack punch the Thompson, it's literally called the Gibbs-O-Matic, because it's supposed to be automatically making Gibbs. And if you don't know what Gibbs is, that's when you like shoot off their arms and everything. That's when their arms blow off when you're killing them. Nothing will beat the fucking gibbing in World at War. Oh my god, that game was just fucking awesome. That is what every COD should strive for their brutality. I remember when, was it Black Ops 3 or 4 that came out, and they said, we're bringing gore back, you know, and everything, but only when you use the specialists. So, okay, cool, like, alright, yeah, my gravity spikes that slam down and cause a shockwave all the way felt in Timbuktu should be ripping legs off because it's that powerful, and it's cool. But, you know, what about this 50 cal fucking machine gun that is, you know, isn't tearing nothing off. But, you know, I digress. What does it matter? I was like complain to complain. But, you know, it's just something, there was just some charm about these older CODs. And I know I'm not alone. I know this isn't the opinions of a scorned old school fan that can't move on, because there is tons of video essays out there talking about how, you know, these games did it right, this game's did better. And I know there's also a ton out there that argue the contrary, that Black Ops 3 is the penultimate zombies experience. And I actually agree to that for a certain type of person. For someone that has never played zombies and wants to get into it, wants to try out zombies, and especially on PC, if they're on PC, Black Ops 3 is the penultimate experience for that. Because one, you have their maps that they have for the game, which are arguably pretty good. You know, I will concede that I didn't like them too much at the time when they're coming out, but I really grew to enjoy them afterwards. I do enjoy Black Ops 3 zombie maps. Zetsubo no Shima is actually one of my favorites, actually. Revelation is my favorite on that map. And it's got the Zombies Chronicles, which obviously we know what the Zombie Chronicles is. The Zombie Chronicles are these maps, but remade to Black Ops 3's graphics and standards with some tweaks here and there, which is a really good experience, especially for someone that wants to try out these zombies. Especially, I know that now, and it's crazy to me, I'm 23 years old. I know I'm not that old, but I've been playing these games. Like, I literally was playing World at War when it came out. You know, way too young. I've been playing Call of Duty since I've been born, essentially, because I am only 2 years older than the freaking game franchise. And my dad is playing it from day one. But I remember playing World at War, playing zombies for the first time. Nice packs on that. Playing zombies for the first time and growing up with it. I mean, seriously. I mean, I remember having my birthday party, and it was my 7th birthday party, because I'm a year younger than whatever number COD it is or whatnot. Or, no. Yeah, I'm a year younger than what, no, I meant I'm a year younger than whatever the ending date of the year is. So, 2007, I was 6 when World at War came out. But 2008, I turned 7. And for my 7th birthday party, I remember right before, waiting for everyone to come over, I was playing zombies. Because, you know, it was my birthday party, so your boy got to play some zombies. Mom let him on the living room TV and play some zombies. And playing it, and I remember I got to round 14. And I pack-a-punch the trench gun. And I swore by that fucking gun. I'm actually going to pack-a-punch it now. For a nostalgia trip. And this was World at War, original zombies. No quick revives, nothing. And I pack-a-punched the trench gun, and I made it 2 more rounds after pack-a-punching it. Working my ass off for it, and I died at round 14. And my buddies came over afterwards, and I was like, guys, you aren't going to fucking believe this. I got to round 14. And it was all because of the trench gun. I mean, it's like, I owed this gun my life. It is a super satisfying shotgun. One of my favorite shotguns in all of COD. Even using the multiplayer. I actually really like using it in World at War. But it's just so satisfying. Like, my God. even though guns now in Call of Duty are actually properly fucking recorded and, you know, are technically a lot more realistic sounding, there's just some charm about how they made these back then. I just thought, thunk, thunk. I don't remember what the fuck it's called. The gut shot. Nice. And, remember I packed a punch this and I was sitting on the catwalk and I finally got overwhelmed, and then 10 minutes later my buddy showed up. And I was hooked. Wow, that was just fantastic. I was so excited. And playing it after years of coming back to this game off and on, the initial sensation and enjoyment is gone. I will be honest. But just that comfort of playing a game that has been with me through growing up. A game that honestly got me through a lot of tough times in school and such, because this was just had a bad day at school, go home, let's load up some zombies. A game that brought me a lot of my friends. A lot of my online friends that sadly we have grown apart over the years. I wish it could be one of those stories where it's actually one of those things where my online friends we end up meeting in person and came closer than my real life friends ever did. We actually did the normal, like, standard high school movie way going through and, you know, becoming better, you know, losing touch with your online friends and making more in real life friends as well as they did, which is good for them. But one of my best friends ever, and I'll never forget him. I figured I would have forgotten him by now because it's been 13 years since I've spoken to him. His name was High Flyer, and I don't remember the numbers on his name. He might still be on my friends list on Xbox. I'll have to check. But he was my first ever friend I ever made online. Like, true friend, not someone that you played one or two games with and they end up sending you a friend request and you're having a good time. And I know I've mentioned him in videos before. Whether you watch those or not, that's on you. But High Flyer, we played so many games together. It was just, I think he was a year younger, 2 years younger than me. We were both aspiring YouTubers at the time. I know I've gone extensively into my YouTube past, of pointing a camera at the TV and recording, and having that be my channel, which was just fun, and goddamn, was it a good time. I've never had so much fun recording videos than back when I had pointing the camera at the TV. Just for some reason, after I got my first Elgato, I mean, when I got my first Elgato, God, it was awesome, it was fun. But for some reason, it just never quite hit as hard as doing it the old-fashioned way, the pointing the camera at the TV. And maybe it was because of the low-tech setup, the low knowledge entry it needed. All you needed was to prop something for the camera to go sit on and, you know, press record and go away. It's really funny. I like watching it because I always recorded in the summertime. I actually very rarely ever recorded in the wintertime for some reason. But of course, summer, you know, when I was off school, and so that's when I got all my videos. And there's a couple of videos out there helping me playing zombies for the in the game loading. So I'd go to the black screen, and I'd just be sitting there in my chair in my freaking tank top white beater after just being forced to mow the lawn for my dad and everything, doing my chores, and just sitting there, just playing zombies like none of care in the world. I do remember, it's funny to look back on, because I was 10, I think, at the time, making the video, and I said hell in the video because, you know, I've always had a bit of a sailor's mouth. Something I probably shouldn't be proud of, but, well, I'm not proud of it, but it's just fact. That I've always had a bit of a potty mouth, but, you know, that was I couldn't talk like that in my videos because Mom and Dad watched the videos. Well, Dad did. And, I said hell in one of my videos. Like, something, like a crawler came riping around the corner, like, scared the absolute piss out of me. Like, you can hear me jump and everything, and I go, what the hell? And I didn't even realize it when I posted it. And I would always go back and rewatch my old videos, and I remember going back like a few weeks later, and it was actually one of my better videos that was doing. It was a Moon gameplay, and it's like part 2 because my camera wouldn't let me upload longer than 5-minute videos at the time. So, you know, your boy had like 45 fucking minute gameplays all sectioned out into 5-minute intervals. So sitting here at like, oh yeah, Moon part fucking 26. But sitting there playing, and I removed it. I heard it and my heart sank. I felt sick to my stomach, like, oh my god. Oh, I missed that. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm so screwed. I'll never forget the heart-sinking feeling. And then when my dad got home from work, I was just so touch and go around him for the longest time. Like, does he know? Does he know? Even though I would ask him today, but he wouldn't freaking remember. But I almost wonder, like, if he even did see it. And if, I mean, my dad just wouldn't care. Now, if I was, like, cursing at someone or something like that, he might have to say something. But for the most part, he didn't care. My dad was pretty fucking cool. But, I was so terrified, so petrified. See how the nostalgia brings out in this game? Like, I don't even know where... I don't know if I'll call this just a Derice Livecom or if I'll just call it a freaking podcast. A nostalgia podcast. Because that's what it is at this point. Just going through memory lane. Because that's what this game brings out in me. I played so much of this game. I wish, and I have buddies of mine that like, oh yeah, me too. But they just do not understand. I only have one buddy, Thomas. I don't even know what to fucking call you out on YouTube anymore. But he is the only one that kind of doesn't give me gripe over it because he knows that I just... The amount of hours. I wish there was hour counters back then. Because, God, there's 2 games I would love to know the true amount of time I have in. Minecraft and COD Zombies. And I know Black Ops 1 is going to be my most played, too. I mean, seriously, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. It's got to be at this point. I'd say, if not 10,000 hours, rearing around 10,000 hours of time played in Zombies. And most of that's going to be Black Ops 1. This is my always go-to game. Hey, shit, I wanted to record, and Minecraft is down, so what the fuck did I do? I loaded up Black Ops 1. But, yeah, that's why I have a couple of my buddies who are like, oh, yeah, I play shitload too, ha ha ha. Like, no, I wish there was a way that you could know the amount of time I have into this. Because it would seriously, I would get to, like, round 40... die, and you know, back then when you died, it just loaded you straight back into the level. You had to actually go and press quit. I wouldn't even press quit. I just start playing again. I mean, it's just that freaking loop just hooked me, where it's just all I wanted to do was play Zombies and try to hit that. I mean, just that freaking grind. It's a good thing I never got into drugs. Jesus Christ, tracing that dragon, yeah, would have got me bad. Because Zombies fucking hooked me bad. But, yeah, so, because I've played this game so much since it's even the launch, I even remember the very first day vividly, very vividly, when Black Ops 1 came out, because I was actually sick from school and just having a miserable time. So I have asthma, and I think I mentioned that a couple times. And asthma is one of those things where when you have it as a kid, it's really bad, and then you can kind of grow out of it. I now have met the point where sometimes it'll flare out, but most of the time it doesn't. Usually, it sucks. The one times it does flare up is like when I'm already sick. So, like getting a cold or something is what really will trigger it. So it's a double whammy, because then you can't breathe because of sickness, and then you can't breathe because of your asthma. But you know what? That's how it is. I've lived with that my whole life. Whoa. But, I remember I was homesick and just miserable. And I think I got into an argument with my mom the night before or something like that, because she didn't believe I was sick or whatnot, and, you know, I conned her anyway. I don't remember exactly what, but I remember I was just down in the dumps because I was just miserable. It was a bad one. And It was actually the day Black Ops 1 came out. And my dad stayed home because I wasn't old enough. I was 9 years old, so had to have someone home with me when I was sick. Couldn't stay home alone. Well, my dad was off, and I don't remember why. Back then, I don't know if he had Thursdays off and it was a Thursday or what the deal was. But, you know, I wanted to play the Xbox because, and, you know, it was one of those things where you're sick and you've been sick for days. So, you know, there's only so much you can do by just sitting there and, you know, not doing anything before you just start going fucking mad. So, I want to play the Xbox, and he goes, why don't you wait on the Xbox, because I have to go to the store. I want to make sure you are, you're not doing something you shouldn't be, you know, blah, well, whatever. I don't remember what he said, but he made up some sort of excuse for me not to get on the Xbox, because he knew if I got on the Xbox, I was going to get on World at War, I was going to play zombies. Man, I'm getting some shit. I was hoping to get, like, a fucking HK or something.
I'm gonna rip shit up.
Oh, we can do a deal. Where the hell you at? And so he leaves for a little bit. First time ever really leaving me home alone. And he comes back home and he hands me, he's like, hold out your hand. I'm like, okay. He hands it to me. And he's got fucking Black Ops 1. He had pre-ordered it and went to go pick it up. I'm like, no way. And he's like, and it's got zombies. I heard it's got zombies. I'm like, oh, no way. And I remember we got onto it, and the very first time ever, I mean, I was sick as a dog, but man, do I so vividly remember booting it up that day, seeing the intro screen, putting it on the 360, because you didn't have to install it back then. It was nice. You could just put the disc in your console and play. I think PS3 back then, you did have to install it, which was kind of AIDS, but, and it took them forever to fix that install time. I remember my buddy Grant wanted to play his Black Ops on his profile because it was like Double XP weekend or something like that. And so we had a PS3, but we didn't have Call of Duty. And he brought over his Black Ops to play it at our house. And I was just going to keep playing on the 360 because that's where we had it. And he went and plugged it in, and he was only able to stay over for like 3 hours. And by like 2.5 hours, the game just fucking finished installing. Something like that. It was something egregious like that, if I remember right. It's been years. So that one, and I had a PS3 growing up. Like, we had a family one, and then I switched to PS3 as a main one for my own console for a while, but that was like in 2013-ish, something like 2012. So a little bit past that point. So, yeah, I don't remember exactly, but it just took forever. But yeah, we plugged in it. We put it in the Xbox, and I had to spend my day playing Kino der Toten as a sickling. And my highest round, I remember, and it's funny to me now, looking back on it, because I remember being like, oh my god, this Zombies is so much harder than World at War. When we know now that is objectively not the truth. Because, good God, World at War will fist you over any other game. Especially because World at War had the windmillers. Oh, yeah, this is not going right. That was the worst part about World at War, was the windmill. Because they would start windmilling on you, and they would start sucking you into their freaking hitbox, and they'd always pull you into like 5 or 6 more. Let's go peck push the way. So, yeah. It was awesome. That is one of my favorite memories with my dad, and just favorite memories growing up in total is playing this game. Because, like, literally the next day, it was almost like, at that point, I was more mentally sick just from being sick for so long. You know how your mind can make you feel more sick than what you are? And I think I was just so down in the dumps from being sick that it made me feel worse, because I felt fine the next day. And was just happy to go talk to everyone. And like, guess what I did? My dad picked up Black Ops 2, I was about to say Black Ops 1, but obviously I was there when Black Ops at the point. Picked up Black Ops, and I got to play it all day. And then I was the cool one, because I was the only one out of my whole friend group that had an Xbox. So we got all the DLCs a month early, and everyone would be like, I remember when Ascension came out, the first ever DLC zombie map for that game. Everyone was like, oh my god, Kane, you gotta invite me over. I mean, people that, you know, I call friends now, but obviously would never be that close of friends, because I was picked on a little bit as a kid. Those guys, they would be coming up to me and being like, yeah, you should invite me over to your house. I mean, people it was essentially the same thing as showing up today at Goodwill with a fucking Lamborghini. If I, you know, it's basically being Mr. Beast in a goddamn poverty line, where everyone was coming up to you just like, hey, buddy, how you been, buddy old pal? Hey, by the way, I was wondering if we wanted to have a play date, but at your house and on the Xbox, because you have the Zombies map. And I would sit there playing it, and I remember when Call of the Dead came out, we didn't get the DLC at first because my dad didn't want it, because he wasn't really playing the game anymore, but I want it for the zombies. And so I had to work to, I worked my ass off doing chores to earn the DLC, essentially. And I remember my buddy Garrett actually got it first. I went over to his house to play it, and he had the world's fucking smallest CRT. But God, do I miss playing games on a CRT sometimes. Like, that is nostalgia there, is playing these games on CRTs. It's just a fucking barbershop quartet or whatever. And I remember us playing it, and I'm taking pictures on a flip phone my mom had gave me that wasn't a real phone. It was just one of her old ones, but it had a camera on it. And she gave it to me to play with and everything, because I like to make fucking stop motions with it, because I had a pause button. You could pause the video. And which I thought was just fucking awesome. And, ouch. This is not going well. This might be it pretty soon. But, I remember taking pictures of it and bringing it to school the next day, which is a huge no-no, because this was before everyone had phones and iPods. I mean, literally, I remember when the iPod Touch came out in school. So, I mean, you showed up with any sort of tech and everything. I mean, because mainly for, like, the teachers and everything, they didn't want to be responsible if some kid broke it or stole it. Because, I mean, shit, when these things were coming out, like, the iPad was like $700, you know? And that's what these things were, because they were so fucking new. So, I can understand why, but at the time, you know, it was like, you know, any sort of piece of technology, they just kind of blanketed it. So, even though this $30 flip phone that had camera on it was not quite in the same vein, you can get in just as much trouble. So, I'm sitting there hiding it and everything and showing people glimpses of, like, George Romero and just talking all this smack of, you know, like, oh my God, there's a new ray gun, it's dual wield. I mean, just going on and on. You just lie your ass off just to make everyone so fucking jealous. And of course that shit comes right back around, because all of a sudden the new kid came to school, and his name was Gabe. And I didn't have the Resurrection DLC yet, or it wasn't even out. And so these maps, like the remaster maps, you had to get the Prestige Edition or the Hardened Edition of Call of Duty to be able to play them. So we just had the standard edition of COD, so we didn't get the remaster maps. And he did, and I remember talking to him about it, because I heard Nocturne and Toten was coming to Xbox, or to the DLC pool with Resurrection, aka Moon. And I'm like, yeah, are they going to add perks and everything? Like, no, but going on and on about it. He goes, oh, but there is a new perk that's going to be in there. I'm like, huh? You know, talking about Meal Kick that we heard about, Meal Kick. And I might have my timeline a bit wrong. I think it was already out, and we just didn't have it at the time. Oh, no, you know what it was? Actually, it was because Meal Kick, the maps that came out, and Meal Kick wasn't in the older maps yet. They actually did an update to add, though. What the fucking Christ, finally. They actually did an update to add that shit. And he had told me about it, said, yeah, they finally added it. I'm like, oh, I haven't had a chance to play it. And my mom was in a fucking mood lately. I'll never forget how fucking awful she was. Like, I love my mom, don't get me wrong. And she knows that she was going through some shit at the time for whatever reason. Where she was just mean. And, you know, she gets home, or I get home from school and everything, and I'm like, Mom, can I get on the Xbox? And, you know, she's getting a fucking huge fight with me about how I should just go outside and, you know, I mean, standard mom stuff, really. But, like, this one, she was a bit more aggressive than usual. She just must have been having a bad day. Because I do remember that day specifically. Like, she was in a fucking horrid mood. And I'm like, I just want to check something. Because the motherfucker had told me at school that when they added Meal Kick, and I had watched a video or something about it, and I heard he's like, no, they added all the perks to Nocturne Totem. They had Pack-a-Punch and everything. I'm like, no way. I was so excited to get home and try this out. I was looking everywhere looking so forward to this. And I got on, and of course, I found out that he, in fact, had lied to me. But at the same time, because of how fucking debatey YouTube was back then, like, super, like, funnily, like, back when clickbait was more of a joke than a way to get money, I think what had happened, because there was that super big World at War custom map that added perks to World at War that was blowing up at the time. I think he might have saw that and assumed it was Black Ops 1. So there's a chance he got debated and was genuinely telling me in the most best faith possible of being like, yeah, dude, you're going to have a great fucking time. And it just cracks me up because I remember just feeling so hurt, so defeated. But yeah, so that was my buddy Gabe, and I mean, we actually became pretty good friends afterwards and everything. And it turns out, I think he didn't even have the DLC, because I think he ended up seeing it for the first time, like on our setup and everything, when he came over one time, which was just a blast. Yeah, just a lot of memories just playing zombies in total. One of my childhood best friends, Michael, forever, he's one of those guys that we actually, speaking of Michael in this Minecraft server I was talking about earlier, this is the first time we've actually been hanging out online and playing games with each other for years, for the first time in a long time, was because this Minecraft server. But he's one of those guys where you cannot talk to for fucking 10 years, and the second you start talking to him, it'll be like he never stopped. You know, one of those buddies. But me and him have the most time together in zombies together, and that's, I was just talking to him the other day, because we were going to reminisce a little bit about zombies. And the one thing I had to ask him, because I had the biggest TV in their room at the time, as a, like, 20-inch CRT. And it was cool, it was badass, because we go to other people's houses, and they either didn't have a TV in their room, or if they did, they didn't even have an Xbox or something like that, where I was lucky enough to have an Xbox. And because that was one thing, you know, we didn't have a ton of money growing up, but my dad was such a big gamer that he understood, like, hey, this is what we do. We're gamers. So he helped me get my first Xbox. I remember I had an original Xbox, and, you know, I'm not going to go into the Xbox story. It's a story for a whole nother day, because I had like 5 of them I had to go through. And so he's going, you know, we got it set up. And me and him played more zombies than anything. And we played so much fucking zombies on that 20-inch CRT TV that was split screen. I don't know about you, but if a TV's smaller than fucking 20 inches and I'm sitting more than 2 feet from it, I can't see it. Oh yeah, I just fucked myself. I can't see it. Not even with my glasses. So, considering we did it as kids, and I've always needed glasses too, so it's not like your eyesight was just better back then because you're a kid. I've always needed glasses. Now, granted, my eyes have progressively gotten worse as I've gotten older, to be fair. But it's not like I'm totally fucking blind without them. I think I'm like 20/50 now, as opposed to 20/30 I was, or 20/40 at the time. I just don't understand how we played that, and we played hours. One of our favorite nights that we still reminisce about to this day was the night that we had an all-map train going around Kino de Toten, where we had the entire map opened up. We were playing it, and, I mean, we got to, like, round 40 or something like that, and that was just an astonishment. That was just a freaking war record to brag about. I mean, we talked about that for years, and we still talk about just how much fun that night was, because we pulled up an all-nighter. I remember getting in trouble from my mom and dad because we were going to do the good thing because we were up all night. Went downstairs about 6 o'clock, let the dog out, so the dog didn't wake them up. We were outside with the dog for like 45 minutes because we finally died. Like, obviously, the game ended, and we're like, oh, none of us are really tired right now. Little did we know the crash was coming. But we're outside and letting the dog out. You know, he was outside for like 45 minutes with us, and we were enjoying just the sunrise. I mean, that was One of my top 10 sunrises ever was just getting up on like a grateful universe, like Thanos sitting on the edge of his farm. I mean, seriously, we're both just sitting there in a little swing that my parents had, like porch swing. And we're just looking out into the distant sunrise, just looking back on a grateful universe of the zombie carnage we had just occurred inside. And, oh yeah, I just fucked myself again. How'd that dog not die from the Wonder Waffle? And, we get up again, and, I mean, by the time we woke up, parents were well gone at work and everything, obviously. You know, it was, they got back about 4 o'clock, send hi to them and everything. And they're fucking pissed at me. They go, if you're going to let the dog out, can you make sure he actually goes to the fucking bathroom? Because he shit everywhere. I mean, so mad at me. I'm like, I don't know how to tell you because he was outside forever. He had plenty of a chance to go to the bathroom and just didn't because he's a little turd. Fucking miss that dog. That was such a good dog. He was 1.5 at that point. Such a good dog. He lived to be about 12 before cataracts got so bad he couldn't see anymore, and then he got really, really sick. But yeah, that was a good night. And it was with my 360 Slim that sat in the corner upright on this little CRT, and we sat across the fucking room from. I mean, seriously, it's not like, oh, well, it's because of your kids. You're probably sitting right next to it. No, I mean, seriously. Oh, yeah, this is it. Seriously, this thing was maybe 15 feet across the room where we were sitting, because we were sitting against the wall because we didn't have any chairs. Actually, that's a lie. I had one chair. It was a fucking old wingback. That was my gaming chair for years. An old wingback. Because it was my grandpa's chair from the farm. When he passed away, we got it from the farm, and that was the old chair. And that chair's still floating around somewhere. One of the cousins. It's just funny. Maybe I'll try to reclaim it one day to put the old wingback back into service and use it as a gaming chair. Nothing's better than the gaming chair than the wingback. I've said wingback too much, haven't I? But yeah. Great fucking time. Great memories. And these are all just memories revolved around this game. That's just, I don't know, and I've never heard. Please, I would love to talk to someone that has these memories. And maybe I just need to wait a couple more years for them to get to my age. But I haven't heard anyone having these sort of memories of Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4. I mean, one, they pretty much fucking murdered split screen the whole last generation of games. So, that's one thing. The other thing is, like, to me, they just weren't as good. Like, there was something about these games. It was like there's something in the water that just made these games good. I mean, there's some sort of Kool-Aid that was being drank for these games. And everyone was in it. Everyone was for it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, my. That's it. I need to pack punch the Kar 98. That's what's going to save me. Oh! Don't touch me. Yeah. Oh, man, thank you all for taking a trip down memory lane with me. I hope you all enjoyed this almost basically hour-long podcast of just playing some zombies and catching up. Guys, I hope you have a good one.